Hello and welcome to Budapest. Today we are going to fly the Cessna Citation Longitude from Budapest to Berlin on Vatsim. We are going to fly not in real weather, but Zulu time -5 hours for daylight. Currently, unfortunately, Hungarian ATC has logged off, which is just my luck with Vatsim. However, there should be several stations online in Germany, so hopefully we will have a bit of traffic and radio traffic there as well. And I was in so I jumped into the airplane so that you can hear me, because once we are getting to the walk around, it's quite loud here. So let's remove you and you. As you can see, there is a bit of traffic. So we're not going to be ourselves completely, but unfortunately there are no controllers online at the moment. And with that, we have checked all the boxes for the walk around. We could have checked the oil doors on both engines, but it really doesn't. It's really not required by the sim. And also interestingly, while the left engine has it on the outside, the right engine has some reason so has it on the inside. So let's get to our cockpit inspection and standby power test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's turn it on. Emergency light switch should be armed. I like to crank these up because the cockpit can get quite dark otherwise, even in daylight. Okay, landing gear handle is down, and then we can turn on our batteries. And external power is available, so let's use that as well to go easy on those batteries. Let's quickly do weight and fuel. This time we are only the two of us with, well, I set it to 170 each and then 60 of cargo, but let's just go with 2. Okay, next we are at Lima Hotel Bravo Papa, flying to Echo Delta Delta Bravo. For now, let's accept it. We expect one free left. We'll get that from the 80s, but for now,
system test. Okay.
yeah, thank you. So let's accept you, and now let's correctly enter our flight plan. So I expect, as I said, a runway 13 left with the Budov to Bravo departure. 13 left. And I also expect the Nucro 24 right. Interesting. Nucro 24 right. So what kind of... Now it makes more sense. And let's also assume ILS 24 right by vectors. It should be 1099 indeed. Sorry. Runway is at 154, minimums is 354. So let's load that as well. But let's not forget about the actual route, so let's go up a little bit. And after Badov, we go direct to Mavor. Then Kotkwa. Odliv. Then Befre or Bifri. Where we will actually go into airway Tango 204 until Nukro. And that gets us to our arrival. So let's just quickly check what we have made. So Badov, Mavor, Kotka, Odliv, Befre, Ivduv, Ablox, Nukro. Hey, that seems to be correct as far as I can tell. So let's use that. Also, let's zoom you in. Although I not really like this version here. So this is a paper I've done for Budapest Airport, and somehow the map is nothing like a map. So let's quickly use this instead. And with that, we already can set 127 as a heading. Okay, let's get back to the checklist. So APU on, and while it loads up, let's quickly go over the landing, the takeoff data once again. Okay, it's still the same, so 102, 107, 123. Also, let's switch on a few lights. So APU is now on 100%, so we can turn external power off. Also, landing elevation is 142, close enough, I would say. And let's move the trim into the green band, like so. Alright, let's check again if we have 80s available. Unfortunately, still not. So let's go with what we have as weather from Navigraph. So 10163000 one. Oh, I still have it in inches of mercury. Let me just quickly set and then go BFD settings down and hectopascals back. Now it's 1016 and 3000, both showing about 450-ish altitude. Okay, we do not have an 80s, so let's, and no ATC online, let's go with 2000 as our squawk code. Also 122.8 and 1215. And let's listen to both. Okay, quickly checking the departure. Let's see if we can go and add it here. Alright, let's set flight level 140, since we do not have any better. Let's flight level change and heading mode. Of course, we are not going to set autopilot on, although we should do an on and off. Alright. Okay, V-speeds were calculated. I did not check our takeoff length, so we need 3,173 out of 12,000, so we should be able to do an intersection landing or whatever is convenient. Let's go with a 10-mile radius so we can see if that plane actually will be landing here. And I think we can set our passengers to buckle up and let's go for an engine start.
Budapest traffic with 0948 vacated runway 35 right, Budapest traffic.
I think I will do my engine start right here. So we can let that taxiing airplane go behind our back, although it might just take the taxiway in the front and go to this part of the airport because that's where budget airport planes go, and this one is Swiss Air, so yeah, let's just wait for it and see if we can do a pushback. It's funny how it doesn't have gears out. Manual back. Park brake. So parking brake is released, throttles in the idle position. We do not have. That's interesting. We should be. Starting engine number 1. Okay, park brake set, stop pushback, close U. Okay, before takeoff checklist. No, before taxi checklist. So Oh, flight controls. Rudder left, right, neutral, down, up, neutral, left, right, neutral, speed brakes, and retracted. Flaps 1, brake left, brake right, and both. Alright, let's get back to map and full screen. In flight instruments set, altitude and heading set, and altimeters also set. Ice protection will not be needed. Taxi lights on. And we will do a thrust reverser check once we are taxiing. Budapest traffic, Hotel Alpha Lima Mike, November, taxi to runway 13 left, via Whiskey 1, Hotel 1, Alpha 4, Papa 1, Alpha 5, and Kilo. Let's check. Reversers unlocked, deployed, and then back.
Budapest traffic with Jet 62 pushing back from stand Romeo 271.
Five 551 hold position. Budapest traffic, Malak 551 hold position.
Malay 551, come in. I'd like to taxi out the way where you're standing right now.
Copy that, have continue taxi to gate 4, thank you.
Haven't even noticed it to be there. Okay, let's start rolling again. Okay, clear left, clear right. Let's go. That's too much steering. Clear left, clear right. And again, clear left, clear right. Let's stop short of the hold short line, landing lights on. Before takeoff checklist, please. So flaps set to takeoff, speed brakes are in, trims are set 3.5, that's exactly where I like it. Ice protection is not required. V speeds are displayed 102, 107, 123. Speed knob is in the FMS position. Static heating not needed. We checked the flight controls. Exterior lights are set. And no CAS messages. Let's move you from like this. Budapest Traffic Hotel Alpha Lima Mike November, lining up, runway 13 left. And let's not hold the runway. Budapest Traffic Hotel Alpha Lima Mike November, taking off runway 13 left. Toga button pressed. Takeoff thrust set. V1 rotate. Gears up. Flaps up. Flight level change. Nav mode. Autopilot for now, because it's very important to take a departure selfie. landing gear is up, flaps are up, throttles are not managed by the auto throttle, but now they are. Ice protection not needed, pressurization is happening. It is. Altimeters can go standard already. And we are over 10,000 feet, so landing taxi light off. And I will wait to make this turn with the seat belts. Actually, I will wait for the second turn as well. It's a short line, and once we do the second turn, we will more or less go straight. Since we do not have ATC still, so let's go for our cruising altitude already. And flight level change. Traffic around us. Okay, so back to extra lines. I set APU off. After takeoff, checklist complete.
Budapest traffic with 062, taxiing runway 13 left.
So, seat belts off, enjoy your flight. We do have some traffic over there, but it's going away from our route, so shouldn't really be much of a concern.
Just 62 take off runway 13 left, Budapest runway.
I see no trace of that, but it really shouldn't be a problem. We are catching up with its climb, but or it might even be on another flight. And we're already at our cruising altitude of 340. To be honest, we could have gone higher, but SimBrief calculated 340 and I was not about to argue. It's not a very long flight, but we did get up here very short, in a way, very quickly. Okay, I do not like us overspeeding. I do not even understand why it happens. So let's just quickly move it to 290 knots indicated. I understand that the barred fence is the aim, but let's not try to overdo it. And we're doing pretty fine over the ground with 468 knots. Absolutely good enough. Okay, so we are 5 minutes out of the top of descent. So let's check our arrival. Unfortunately, all ATC logged off, so we are going to arrive on Unicom. And that just reminded me why I started using Beyond ATC almost every time since it released. Okay, while you are loading up, let's see if we can actually have the charts. Unload you, close you. So, arrival. I think we are going from arrive from Nukro. Yes, we do. Of course, I could have checked it here. So, Nukro no restrictions. 8484 no restrictions. 8483 should be over flight level 80. Then 471 over 60, max 220, and it's in. Then no restrictions until Uburu. Which should be 4,000. Let's make you an at. So Uburu at 4,000. 1099 1099 and heading of 244. I think we can already set that. We are not going to get, unfortunately, radar vectors. And auto throttle, would you please get back to speed 290? Thank you. Okay, missed approach, climb on track, on runway track to Delta 06, max 4000. Intercept and follow radial 296 outwards of Brandenburg towards Okber. Continue climbing R296 max 5000, and after passing the 17 continue climbing to flight level 080. Okay, so we will initially set 4000 for our missed approach. And our minimum is 354, which is already set. Alright, let's get back to map mode. no airplanes that are actually going for Berlin, so that's nice. We are past, of course, our top of descent, and I should have set at least something, so let's go VS mode. And we can use VNAV for smoothing it out. Okay, descent checklist. Pressurization, landing elevation 142 versus 154. That should be okay. APU can wait, altimeters can wait, exterior lights can wait. Nothing much that we should be doing at this moment. And now that we have started to descend, all the traffic that were on level with us are now way above us. And the one on our right wing could be going for Berlin, but I don't think so. We're having some really nice clouds here. Start zooming in. You see, it's 7,000 feet above us. If it was going for Berlin, it would be descending as well. And we almost caught up with the 3% descent angle.
Berlin traffic, with traffic quite heavy, that means that before right.
Okay, so instead of 3,000, we now are doing 2,000. And just to let our presence be known, Berlin traffic citation Hotel Alpha Lima Mike November 20 miles southeast, inbound runway 24 right via the Nucro 24 right arrival. I think we should be doing a bit of engine anti-ice.
Berlin traffic information, Bird 565 heavy, left 24 right, 5.5 miles out.
Okay, and where are you? I should be seeing you on the map.
Berlin traffic is to Mike Whiskey pushback and then taxi runway 24 left.
Berlin traffic, Speedbird 565 heavy, short final 4 right.
Interesting. Let's go APU on. Okay, altimeter will be 1017. So 1017. But I'm not going over to so feet instead of flight levels. We are a bit too high for that still. And interestingly, I can
from the 24 right,
see traffic on the
Rainbow traffic,
Vatsim map.
Alpine 4265, 8 mile final runway 24 right.
Somehow they disappeared from the flight simulator.
Berlin traffic is to Mike Whiskey taxi runway 24 left.
Okay, let's do landing calculations. So let's use predicted weight. Nope. Load metadata. For right. Landing config flaps full, anti-ice off, thrust versus towed should be fine. 121, 110, and we need 2600. So flap speeds 126. for full flaps and 2600. I think it's time to slow down. Flaps 1 with speed below 250, and of course it will help us to slow down even further towards the 190 I've just set. Yet. Why cannot I arm? So why cannot arm the approach mode? What with the speed? Okay, landing lights on. We are 20 miles out. Okay, I know we are a bit far, but it will hold us no more useful info than what's on our PFD map. So let's focus on the airport. Okay, heading of 244 is already set. We are going to vacate by Lima 4 or Lima 3, turn around and taxi back on Delta or Charlie towards Abram 4. Berlin Brandenburg traffic, citation Hotel Alpha Lima Mike November, 15 miles inbound runway 24 right. And by now we can go to go flaps 2 and slow down to 150. Gears down. So satisfying to watch. So approach checklist, landing data is calculated, we need 2600, V speeds are in, ice protection is on, minimums 354 set, altimeters 1017 and 3003, flaps 2, landing gear lever is down, exterior lights are all on. And speed brakes are retracted. We are 9 miles out. better that we can already see. And of course that's the runway over there. We got quite a bit of crosswind, 17 knots, 18. It's getting worse. Okay, 5 miles. Berlin traffic, Hotel Alpha Lima Mike November, 5 miles final, runway 24 right. Let's go, flaps full. Wind brakes in, gears down. Missed approach 4000 set, 244 set. Flaps are already full. So far so good. We are almost there. Let's do a quick approach selfie. Come on. And with 17 knots, I'm going to hold off the autopilot as long as I can. Okay, autopilot off. Berlin traffic, Citation Hotel Alpha Lima Mike November on short final runway 24 right. We are too low. Now 2 white dots. Still 14 knots of crosswind. It's a bit scary. Continue. We're low again.
Auto throttle. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Alright, flaps up. Let's roll to Lima 4. We don't need the flight director anymore. And now that we are past the whole short line, let's quickly go over. No. Berlin traffic, Hotel Alpha Lima Mike November, clear of runway 24 right. So flaps are up, landing lights off, taxi light on, ice protection off. Okay, let's taxi. And Berlin traffic, Hotel Alpha Lima Mike November, taxi to apron 4 via Charlie. Try to keep it below 30 knots. The next one to the right should be apron 4. Let's just go straight ahead. And parking brake set. So throttles are idle, parking brake is set, ice protection off, engine run start buttons press. I'm not going to turn off the APU. I need electricity for just a little bit longer. Why is it not horizontal. So thank you for joining me on this flight. Unfortunately, it went just as most of my Vatsim experiences do, with lots of ATC online when I start to do my flight plan, and then gradually logging off before I even can say hello. Well, it is what it is. I hope you still enjoyed the flight despite of that, and I do hope to see you in our next video, which will be quite in a long time. I will not be doing videos, at least not how I usually do during the summer. There are family issues that I have to consider, so there might be some videos without me babbling about, but don't even count on those ones as well. So expect a little summer break instead. I hope to see you back in the autumn. Until then, goodbye, and thanks again for joining me on this one. Bye bye.